Hello and welcome. I'm Ben from CMCS and I'm just going to give you a quick rundown of our Vibradec vibration monitoring equipment. This is a vibration monitor that's mainly used in the construction industry but can be used for anywhere that vibration needs to be monitored. We've used it for monitoring piling, monitoring construction works near tube tunnels, train lines, even server farms. So it's quite a versatile bit of kit. It comes in. There's two main parts to it really. There's the orange box comes in a pelly case, robust, waterproof. This is the logger unit itself. This is the bit that does all the works out any alert levels that need to be sent. These can send out alerts by text message, uploads the data to our server remotely, and the piece that actually does the sensing is the geophone, which looks like this. So this is a tri-axis geophone in a polyacetal casing, waterproof again, designed for the rigours of construction sites. Not the easiest places to keep equipment dry and working well, but we've never had an issue with any of these so far. The two pieces plug together very simply. If I turn this around, you can see this one is just a push fit connector. Just make sure you can see it. Yeah. So you can see here this is a dual channel unit, so we can take inputs from two geophones. This third connector is for optional mains power. So you can see here, this is for sensor 2, which I'm going to show you just because it's easy, it's open. And you can see there's two white lines, just line those up, push the connectors together, that's it. This geophone is now connected to the Vibradec. There is another type of connector which you may see on our equipment. So there's this type, which is a screw type of connector. We started using these and they are useful. The actual connector screws in to the Vibradec, so it can't be pulled out, which both have benefits and drawbacks. This one obviously is your data will keep logging unless it's completely ruined, but we have had cases where these have been, even with the screw connector, these have still been pulled out, and obviously the cable's then broken and has to be replaced. So the other type, where it just pulls out, can save money on particularly hard sites. You just line up the pin in there with a slot in here. Hopefully you can see that. Line that up, screw up the collar. That's that. Both these units I'm showing you here are currently powered by batteries. There are options, as I said, for mains power, or you can run off a solar panel and a battery. Once you've plugged in the geophone, you'll see on the back there's these two plugs for the batteries. While we're talking about power, we might as well show you this. And these are just 4 D-cell batteries. Here in the back of here. Positive side is up, as you can see on the cap. There is a positive symbol. So positive side up towards the top. 2 in each side. Good quality batteries are recommended because the cheap ones, they don't last very long. They do run down quickly. A set of good quality D-cell batteries in these units usually last a month easily, unless it's very cold weather, and then it might die a little quicker. It also depends on your log rate. You can adjust the log rate. We usually set it to about 20 minutes, although it scans continuously. Right, mounting the geophone then. So you've got power, you've got your geophone plugged in. How do we actually fix this to whatever we want to monitor? Right, so you can see we've got the bracket on the wall there, nice and solid, fixed on with 3 roll bolts beneath. It's firmly fixed, there's no movement in that whatsoever. You just take your geophone, place it on the bracket, and then you've got a few options. You can just clamp this, as I'm going to do now, with a normal clamp. Just place it over, clamp it down nice and tight. You don't want any movement in that. That's firmly fixed. It's monitoring this wall. And if any vibration in this wall will be transferred to this, then we'll pick it up and log it with the Vibradec. The other option, sometimes you need to monitor the ground, the floor, anything like that, or anywhere where you don't want to put a bracket on the wall. And if that's the case, I'll show you with this other unit. You can place the geophone on the ground, find a nice smooth bit if you can. There's a cable in the way. And just simply place the sandbag over, make sure it's sitting nice and snug, there's no movement. Oh, there is movement there, look. Make sure it's sitting nice and snug, no movement at all, and then that's going to pick up any vibration from that slab. The last thing you need to do is to open up the unit itself. There's 2 clips. And you'll see in here a reading. It's not reading anything because I've only just turned it on. If this is showing the menu, like so, hopefully you can see this. To get it logging, you just press the arrow key down, start logging. Press OK, and it'll start logging. And if I give that geophone a little tap, you should hopefully see in a second. Yeah, there we are. Got a reading. I hope you can see that. So that is it. There are other options in this menu, but it will have been set up by CMCS prior to you receiving it. So there should be no reason to go in there. If you do need to go in there, we'll obviously talk you through it at the time. So that's the basics of how to set up the Vibradec and the geophone. 2 different options for mounting, quite a few options for power. Let's go and have a look inside on the computer and see what data we get back from our website. Okay, here we are inside. I've gone to vibradec.com, vibradec.com, and I'm going to log in and have a look at a site that we've got here. Obviously you would log in with the details that CMCS have given you. Just click sign in. Right, so the first page we see is the live site mimic. This page is basically an overview of your site and where the units are positioned on it. So in this case it's a very simple drawing of a bridge showing the 2 orange boxes which indicate where the Vibradecs and the geophones were located on the 2 piers at each end. 2 green boxes here, obviously one represents the left hand one and the right hand one represents the right. They have the serial number of the Vibradec, the friendly name, which in this case they're just called Miles Street. They're not particularly useful names. Normally these will be named so you can easily identify which unit is where, and the latest readings that you've received from those units. It also gives you the battery voltage, so you can see if the batteries are going to need changing soon or if they are getting low. If you scroll down a bit, you get slightly more information. You've got the serial number, the name, same as above. Then you've got the exact log time that data was received. The data itself, channel 2, these aren't actually using channel 2 in this project. They're just single channel Vibраdecs, so that is blank. And the battery voltage again. The important thing here is obviously the log time. You can see exactly when that data was received. exactly when it was logged, and therefore pinpoint when an incident might have happened. So that is the live site mimic. The next couple of pages, the plot graph and the view data and the download data, in fact, all very similar in how they work. So if we go to plot graph, we can select the Vibradec we're interested in. So these are the two that you saw on the previous page. Let's go with 7729. Then you can either select a date range that you're interested in the data from. So for example, you might want to look at this for the last week or the last month, or the historic data. You can select that here. So if we just look at the last couple of days, or if you're interested in a particular day, perhaps you've had a complaint, or you've had a spike in vibration and you just want to look at that day, see when it happened, you can select that here. Again, select the Vibradec and select the day you're interested in. But we're going to go with the last few days here, I think. So click plot graph, and then straight away you'll see the graph, and you can see in this instance, you can see we've got these sort of lulls. These are actually middle of the night when there are no trains running past this. So from about 1 o'clock, 20 past 1 to 20 past 5 in the morning, there's not many trains running, not much vibration. The blue, amber and red lines are the alert levels, so you can set. So in this case, blue is set at 1 millimeter per second, amber was set at 2.75, I believe, and red was set at 4 millimeters a second. So you can see here we're past the blue level, which was only set as a guideline really, and nowhere near the two more serious alerts. The other thing you can do here is you can adjust the graph. So if you want to zoom in a little bit on the data and have a look, you can do that here. So if we look at this, you can see this is 2.15 millimeters a second, so I could probably zoom in here to 2.5 on the y-axis. Keep the minimum as 0. If I update that graph, we get a slightly more detailed view. We've still got all the data there, but we can see it slightly more clearly, and sometimes that's a useful feature. You can also view the individual channels for that geophone. So if I click on view detailed graphs, and you can see here the X channel, the Y channel and the Z channel. So you can see individual graphs. Yeah, sometimes it's a little too much data to look at on one when they're all plotted on the same axis. Right, if we move on to view data, works in a very similar way. Select the date and period you're interested in, the Vibradec that you want to look at, so we go with 7729 again, and view the data, and you'll get a nice big table here. Straight away you can see this row here, there's a reading above the blue alert, which is this one here, 1.25. The alert was set at 1, so that whole row has been highlighted in blue. Obviously this would happen again if the reading was above the amber, it would turn amber. If it was above the red, obviously the whole row would turn red, and you can pick those out straight away, see which ones, where your highest readings are when the problems occurred. Download data, again, select the date and time you're interested in, and the Vibradec, click download data, and you download a CSV file down here. You can open that up in Excel or any other spreadsheet package, and you can see the data in the same format, but obviously here you've got more options for manipulating it. You can put it across to any other reporting software you might have, or do more complicated analysis of the data in here. So we'll get rid of that. Mimic Archive is very similar to the Mimic page. Again, you see a diagram of your site where the units are, but this time you've got previous and next buttons. You can skip through and you can see, you can step through the data step by step and see when anything happens. So obviously you can see here This box has turned blue. That's because that reading was above the blue alert level. That's the 1.25 we saw before. And again, if the readings are above amber or red, then this box would turn amber or red to match. So you can easily see straight away where your highest readings are. And that's about it really. There's a few options in here for changing your password. You can set that to something more memorable, or you can send feedback to us. Write a message in there, click send, and we'll get the message. We'll get back to you as soon as we can. So that is the basics about using Vibradec.com, how to set up a Vibradec, and how to change the battery, set it logging, that kind of thing. Just a brief rundown of how the Vibradec works, what you need to do to get it going. So thank you for watching, and I look forward to working with you soon.